Every morning, two people park in the same lot, walk into the same office, and cash paychecks that are almost identical, but one of them is quietly becoming a millionaire while the other one is
quietly going broke. Let me introduce you to Daniel and Claire. Daniel pulls in at 8:51 every morning behind the wheel of a leased Audi A6 he signed for 14 months ago.
The monthly note is $892 on a 36-month agreement. He doesn't park wherever is fastest.
He parks where the car gets noticed, right along the walkway that the entire sales team uses to reach the front entrance.
Daniel is in brand development. He earns $91,000 a year. When visiting executives coming through the building, Daniel is the one who walks them to the lobby.
He makes sure they pass the Audi on the way out. The car is not how Daniel gets to work.
It's how Daniel communicates who he believes he is, and every single month, that communication costs him $892 he cannot genuinely spare.
Claire arrives at 8:19. She parks in the far row away from the building near the fence. She drives a 2019 Honda Accord she purchased used 2 years ago for $21,500 in cash.
There's a small scratch above the rear wheel well she has never addressed, because the scratch does not change where the car takes her.
Claire is the director of finance at the same company as Daniel. She earns $109,000 annually. Here is where this story gets interesting and uncomfortable.
Daniel's net worth is $14,000 total.
That includes a tangle of credit card debt, the outstanding lease liability, a personal loan from a trip he took the previous spring, and a retirement account sitting at $7,800 where he had
contributed exactly 2% of his salary since his first day. Claire's net worth is $3 million. They eat lunch in the same cafeteria.
They attend the same Monday briefings. Their salaries are separated by less than $20,000 a year.
But their financial realities are separated by a generation of different choices, and the clearest signal of where those choices diverged is visible every single morning in the parking lot.
One person selected visibility, the other selected accumulation. The vehicle was the first fork in the road.
This video is about something the financial media rarely says plainly. The wealthiest people in this country, almost without exception, drive cars that would completely surprise you.
Not because they cannot afford something more impressive.
Because the way they think about money is so different from how most people think about it, that their car becomes the most honest public expression of the philosophy that generated their wealth.
Let's get into the data, because the data is where this gets genuinely shocking.
Thomas Stanley's National Survey of Millionaires, one of the most thorough examinations of wealthy Americans ever published, found that the median price millionaires paid for their most recent
vehicle was $31,367. For people with a net worth above $10 million, that number rose to $41,997.
Now put that alongside this, the average new vehicle transaction price in America has surpassed $48,000.
The average American is spending more on a car than the average millionaire is, and it gets stranger when you look at income brackets.
An Experian automotive analysis found that 61% of households earning above $250,000 annually drive Toyotas, Hondas, and Fords.
61%. These are people who could walk into any dealership and drive out in a Range Rover or a Porsche without financial stress, and the majority of them are commuting in a Camry or a Civic.
Only 39% of those high-income households selected a luxury brand at all. The number one car brand among millionaires, according to Stanley's research, Toyota.
Second, Honda. Third, Ford. Mercedes appeared in fourth place. BMW was fifth, only 23. 5% of millionaires owned a vehicle from the current model year.
More than half drove cars at least 2 years old. The typical millionaire operates a vehicle approximately 4 years old with around 40,000 miles on it.
These are not people who cannot write a check for something newer.
These are people who have understood something about money that most of the population has been conditioned by advertising, by culture, by social comparison to completely ignore.
A car starts losing value the moment ownership transfers to you. In the first 12 months, a new vehicle surrenders roughly 20% of its purchase price. By year 5, the loss reaches approximately 40%. By year 7, most vehicles retain less than a third of what the original buyer paid.
Meanwhile, the average new car payment in the United States now sits at $767 per month, with a growing number of buyers carrying monthly notes above $1,000.
7-year loan terms, 84 months, are no longer unusual. A significant portion of people making those payments owe more on the vehicle than it is currently worth.
They are, in financial terms, underwater, paying monthly on something that has already lost more value than they have repaid.
And instead of that money building their future, it is evaporating month after month into a depreciating object in the driveway.
Here is the math, and I want you to stay with me through the math, because this is where the conversation stops being theoretical and starts being personal.
Daniel leases his Audi A6 for $892 per month. Over a 36-month lease term, he transfers $112 to the leasing company.
At the end, he owns precisely nothing. He returns the vehicle. He signs a new lease, because accepting a more modest car now would feel like going backward.
Across a 30-year working life, Daniel will pay an average of roughly $850 per month for a vehicle he never accumulates equity in.
Claire spent $21,500 cash on her Accord. Over 8 years of ownership, her total cost, purchase price, maintenance, insurance differential averages out to approximately $320 per month.
After 8 years, the car still runs. She sells it for $8,500, applies the toward a replacement used vehicle at $22,000, and repeats the same pattern. The monthly gap between Daniel's approach and Claire's approach is roughly $530.
That $530 per month, directed instead into a broad market index fund, earning an average of 8% annually over 30 years, compounds to approximately $791,000.
Read that figure again, $791,000, not a projection built on fantasy assumptions, the straightforward mathematical result of a $530 monthly behavioral difference sustained across a career. That is the gap between arriving at retirement with genuine options and arriving at retirement with anxiety you cannot afford to medicate. It is the gap between financial independence at 62 and financial dependence at 74.
And it begins in the parking lot with the vehicle you chose based on how it would register to people who will not remember it by Thursday.
Claire's $3 million net worth did not originate with inheritance or investment secrets.
According to the Ramsey Solutions National Study of Millionaires, 88% of American millionaires are entirely self-made.
Claire is among them. Her wealth was constructed in the space between what she earned and what she actually spent.
The car is where she has protected the widest, most durable portion of that space.
Her vehicle decisions alone account for roughly $650 of her total net, worth more than half of everything she has built. From one recurring choice she first made in her late 20s and had
simply continued to repeat every several years. The Ramsey study also found that 94% of millionaires made a consistent practice of living below their income level.
Only 31% ever averaged a six-figure salary across their careers. 1 in 3 never earned $100,000 in any single working year.
The 5 professions appearing most often in their millionaire database were engineer, accountant, teacher, operations manager, and attorney.
Teachers, people whose salaries are a running punchline in our culture, were appearing in millionaire research more frequently than physicians and technology executives. Because the profession does not produce the outcome, the gap does, and the car is where most people collapse the gap before it ever has the chance to grow.
I want to be precise here. This is not financial advice, and I am not instructing you on any particular investment.
But I do want to explain why, of every spending category that exists in an American household's budget, the car is the one that most cleanly and most consistently separates people who build lasting
wealth from everyone else. There are 3 reasons. The first reason is magnitude, and it deserves to be stated without softening it.
A vehicle payment is typically the second largest monthly expenditure in an American household, trailing only housing.
$767 per month exceeds what most people spend on food. It exceeds what most people invest.
It exceeds what most people save.
When this one line item is inflated by $400 or $500 beyond what genuinely reliable transportation requires, the overage swallows every other financial habit you try to build.
You could eliminate every streaming subscription you own, bring lunch to the office for a full year, cancel every non-essential membership, and negotiate every recurring bill, and the combined savings still would not neutralize the drag of a $900 car payment versus a $351. The vehicle is the large expense.
The coffee, the subscriptions, the restaurant meals, those are minor expenses. Most financial guidance focuses on minor expenses because minor expenses feel manageable to discuss.
The vehicle is where the real financial territory is. The second reason is duration. A car payment is not a one-time decision.
It is a recurring deduction from your financial life that persists for 60, 72, or 84 consecutive months.
It runs automatically. It does not require your engagement. And because it is automatic, your nervous system stops registering it as a cost. By the 6th or 7th month, the payment is no longer perceived as a choice. It has become part of the environment.
You have restructured your other spending around it. You have reclassified it as a fixed expense, a permanent feature of your financial life.
Except it was never permanent.
It was a single decision made on a single afternoon that then extracted money from your account every month for 7 years while the asset it financed lost half its market value.
The third reason is the one nobody likes to name directly: social performance. No other consumer purchase carries the social weight that a vehicle carries.
Your car is visible to your neighbors when it sits in the driveway. It is visible to your coworkers in the lot.
It is visible to the person sitting across from you on a first date when you pull up. It is visible to your extended family when you arrive for a holiday.
It transmits a narrative about your income, your status, and your life trajectory to every person who sees it.
And that narrative is almost always disconnected from your actual financial position. The onlooker sees a luxury sedan and infers success.
The onlooker sees a well-maintained four-year old Honda and infers average. The cruel irony is that the Honda driver is far more likely to be the millionaire.
The luxury sedan driver is far more likely to be financing an image with money they do not have. But human beings do not assess financial health through balance sheets.
They assess it through visible signals.
So the person constructing wealth appears ordinary, and the person dismantling it appears to be thriving. And the cultural feedback mechanism rewards the destruction, because everyone in the social network is running the same script and reading each other's participation as confirmation that the script is correct.
Daniel receives regular compliments on the Audi. Claire has never once been complimented on the Accord.
Daniel's car earns him social approval on a near-daily basis. Claire's car earns her nothing observable.
But Claire's brokerage account earns approximately 8% per year, growing without fanfare, while Daniel collects validation that costs him $892 every 30 days.
When you truly understand that dynamic, the car purchase decision becomes something completely different.
The person in the modest vehicle is not the person who could not afford something better.
They are the person who recognize that the complement economy is a mechanism for transferring wealth from people who want approval to the companies that sell it.
Every dollar allocated to impressing a stranger is a dollar extracted from the account that actually liberates you.
The people who accumulate significant wealth have made a private peace with appearing unremarkable to people who have no stake in their financial future.
This connects directly to a line from researcher Sarah Stanley Fallaw, director of the Affluent Market Institute and daughter of Thomas Stanley, who wrote after surveying more than 600 millionaires for her book The Next Millionaire Next Door that consuming above your income, spending in place of saving, and purchasing to project an identity you have not yet earned makes you a
prisoner of your paycheck regardless of how large that paycheck is, spending to project an identity you have not yet earned.
That is Daniel, precisely. He drives the Audi because he believes he is on a trajectory toward wealth, and the car is the opening chapter of the story he is writing.
The problem is the car is the reason the story never advances.
Every $892 delivered to the leasing company is $892 not entering his retirement account, his investment portfolio, or his emergency reserve.
He is staging the future while bankrupting it. The performance is consuming the substance.
I want to address the objection I know is forming right now, because it is a legitimate one and it deserves a real answer.
The objection sounds like this: a cheaper car is a gamble. It will break down and end up costing more. You get what you pay for. Let me respond with what the data actually shows. Consumer Reports has consistently ranked Toyota, Honda, and Mazda as the most dependable automotive brands available.
These are, not coincidentally, the same brands that appear most frequently in millionaire research.
A 2019 or 2020 Toyota Accord or Honda Civic, purchased used, can be acquired today for somewhere between $17,000 and $23,000 depending on mileage and configuration.
Vehicles like these with appropriate maintenance routinely operate reliably for 200 0 miles or beyond.
They are not gambles. They are not deteriorating hazards. They are precision-engineered machines built to outlast most loan agreements.
The cheap car breaks down concern applies accurately to a vehicle purchased for $3,500 with no independent inspection and 160 0 miles already recorded.
No one is suggesting that.
The strategy millionaires consistently employ is the used vehicle in the $15, €0 to $30, €0 range, 2 to 4 years removed from original sale, from a brand with a verified reliability record.
Acquired either with cash or with a loan no longer than 36 months.
This is a vehicle that has already passed through the steepest portion of the depreciation slope, frequently still carrying remaining warranty coverage, and is engineered to serve reliably.
Another decade of normal use.